Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the best show that you've ever listened to in the world, bar one other show. All right? And that's called the Danger Club Podcast. This is the show where we talk about the Danger Club Podcast. This is Danger Recall, baby.
Whoa.
Yes. There you can hear voices there. I got guests. My name is Colin Hubbard. I'm going to be with you on this ride for this Danger Recall. And on this ride, on this roller coaster ride, I have two people with me, and they are Ross Harmston.
Hello there, Dangerlings.
And Dan Thompson.
Hello there, Dangerlings.
Yes, Dangerlings. Us three, we're going to walk you through this episode. This is episode 42. The life and universe of everything. Is that right? Can you read it, please? Because my notes have unlife. My notes
the universe
have changed
and
it.
Everything. It's a shameless hitchhiker's gag because it's episode 42.
Yeah, it's brilliant actually. My notes changed it, and I obviously didn't notice when I was typing. And it says "you, life, the universe, and everything." And so I kind of tried to blag that and completely fucked up this episode. That's me saying that this is the best ever podcast in the world.
It is.
And I've already fucked it up.
Guys. Have you ever done that thing where you've got like a show and then you've got like a podcast or like a show about the show, like a Talking Dead kind of thing?
Yeah.
And actually, the wrap-up show is better than the main show is going to become a bit crap, but the wrap-up show is pretty fun, and so you keep watching for that. I've definitely had shows that I've just kept watching because I like the wrap-up more.
I'm trying to think if there's a show that I've done that to. You know, if I've watched a show, I'm sure I have. Yeah, but I can't think of any right now. I'm a bit tired.
The Apprentice, definitely.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Years.
The Apprentice. I never got into The Apprentice. It wasn't for me.
Oh, they're amazing.
I used to really enjoy The Apprentice because we'd watch it with friends. We'd get like a couple. We had some mates of ours would come over
Ross,
every week.
Joey, Chandler.
Exactly. Yeah, just get all of the. I'd have the cast. It was very expensive. You know, they're like a million a week to get
That's
them
crazy.
all over
Yeah,
there.
you can get some of them cheaper, I think, but.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can get you can get Chandler at a discount depending on, if you supply the Coke. We can't use any of this. This is
we just had a go at blooming, what's his name? Yeah, Matthew
Perry.
Perry,
one of my favourite actors.
He's great, isn't he?
He's an amazing actor. What are we talking about? We can slag off The Apprentice. Don't slag off Matthew Perry.
No.
Now, our friends used to come over. We'd cook dinner, and we had like a sweepstake going on all the Apprentice candidates. We'd have a score chart on the wall where we'd update when people have been eliminated and everything like that, and we'd make it a competition. And that was the contest of us competing for or cheering on our gladiators as they messed up everything was the entire show. And then as soon as our friends had a baby and couldn't come over anymore, we tried to watch it on our own, and we were like, this is rubbish.
I love the episodes where they have to fetch stuff. They get given a list of things and they don't know what it is, and it's got like it's got a random word that they've never heard of. It's like a concliamiclaclu. And they're like, what's a concliamiclaclu? And they have to ring up all loads of shops and they go, excuse me, what? Do you have a concliamiclacloco? And they're like, sorry, we don't do concliamiclacocos. And they just have to go and try and find it. And then they get the worst thing possible. And he's like, you are a bloody disgrace. I don't know why he's Michael Caine. And yeah, I like that. I like that about it. It's funny, yeah.
It was a much more believable show sort of 10, 50, probably 15 years ago. It was running before smartphones were a thing, because now it's just like, why don't you just Google what that word means?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you can't use Google to complete this because we have to test that you're a successful business person from the mid-90s
who can't use their phone.
Successful business people don't use Google. Yeah. None of them use Google. They're it's like school, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't use your phones to look these things up. Well, why? Everybody else in the fucking world does.
You can't use a calculator.
School, come on, move on.
You cannot use a calculator.
Can't use a calculator. I love that bit in Peep Show where he says, all our teachers said that we wouldn't have calculators in our pockets, and we all do. Maths is useless. Yeah, it's great. I never watched The Apprentice. I remember going around, so I haven't seen a bunch of Friends in a while, and I was really looking forward to it.
That's because they've all been around my house.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I pay the big bucks.
And I went round there all excited, like, "Hey, lads, what's going on?" And they're all sitting there watching The Apprentice, and they were also like already hungover, and they were like blazing as well, so they were all like stoned, and just like really unresponsive. And I think I only stayed for about 20 minutes, and I just went, "Oh, fuck this," and went and met someone else. So I was just like texting someone and said, "What are you doing? What's going on?" They were like, "Oh, I'm out." I was like, "Yeah, all right, forget it. I don't need to see these people anymore." They're still my friends. I love them, and they know who they are, but they're not listening to this. 'Cause, they're not that good friends, apparently. It's not for everyone, is it? But it is the best show we've ever made, and we love it. So listen. Episode 42. We've got music from Kevin MacLeod. We've got Sword Coast Soundscapes. We've got COAG. That's a new one. Chan Walrus and Ross Bludgeon. This has got one of my favourite tracks in it, actually. I think we use, or is that the next episode? I don't know. I just listened to both of them. I'm a bit confused.
I think I know what you mean. There's a string of combat music in the next few episodes that we use, where there's a bunch of because Ross Bugden's done he didn't just do our theme as if he wrote it for us, but he's done a load of like epic movie scores and things like that, and loads of kind of epic music. And you made a really sick mix of just a bunch of tunes like that sort of strung together to do some combat music, and it's just lovely when it's got all the strings and stuff coming in.
He's got some great stuff. I don't think this one is by Ross, but I will have a look and see which composer does this, but I love it. It's great. And we'll get to that in a bit. We have pop shields. I know this because Ross mentioned that my nose pokes through the pop shield at some point. Do you remember this,
I do. I remember it was like, those metal things that you put your hand on and your hand comes around the other side. It was like that. It was very scary. It was like Alien. You were like being born from the pop shield. We got pop shields. Yay! And now...
Get yourself a pop shield, everyone.
I know. Like now, when I don't have a pop shield, I'm always like, you need a pop shield. You need a pop shield. Because also it just helps you... things that I learned now is, it gives you the distance from the mic away as well if you're very loud. Like Drum Neat is a mile away from his mic, his pop shield.
Either that or you just need to turn his gain right the way down. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes we all slip back into this when we got back in the studio, Dangerlings, quite recently. A good mic technique is like if you start to shout, I mean, if you haven't got someone controlling your gain as you go. So when you do sort of voiceover work, they will adjust the levels for how loud you're going to shout and stuff. But when you're recording live, that's not really something that you can do live. Really, I don't think. I mean, you can, but it's quite a lot of work. So we don't do that when we're recording live. But so when you shout, you kind of step away from the mic so you don't need to adjust that level. But we all didn't do that. Like we all got to the point where we all started shouting right into the microphone, and even I do it sometimes where our mic technique just went completely out of the window because we hadn't been in the studio for like God knows how long, and because the way the world is. But it was really interesting that our mic technique just went out the window, isn't it, boys?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was dreadful. It's because I've been using a condenser mic at home and I had like 3 screens to GM with for the whole of lockdown while we've done this. And we got back in the studio with a sort of directional mic where you actually have to talk directly into it. And I'm just like, I'm all over the place. My voice is just going off everywhere because I don't know I've forgotten how to sit still.
Nice.
It's so different.
We're gonna have to tie you in a Clockwork Orange kind of chair. Put a thing in your mouth with your eyes pinned open, just to try and get good sound.
You need those Google glasses or something, so you can have a screen in glasses.
Oh my God, that'd be incredible. I would love that.
Do you remember Google Glass came out and nobody really got into it, but they keep every sort of couple of years they go Google Glass, it's coming back, and it hasn't come back yet. Is it really? Like, it is pretty sick though. I remember working on a job and some girl was wearing one, a pair of the glasses, and she gave me some, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And you say, okay, Google, and it goes, and it pops up in the left hand side of the screen, and then you go take a picture, and it will just take a picture for you. It's kind of cool.
The future.
Very nice.
It is the future or the past, because that was years ago. Yeah. All right. So we talk about Drum Spellbook. You made Drum a Spellbook, didn't you?
Oh my God, this Spellbook was so expensive.
Don't tell Drum that.
I did this after we had the episode. I guess it would have been last week's episode with the Mad Monkeys, where we realised we recorded it, and then we realised he'd been using a spell that was too high level, and he was struggling to work out which spells were the right level, which ones he could use and things, which is totally fair. And also because he just he was looking after his kids and just was really busy. So I was like, how can we make this easier for him? So I used there's a really, really great website called Perham's Spellbook. I'll throw a link up to it in Danger Recall when this goes live. But it's an amazing website that lets you basically print off spell cards for first edition Pathfinder, and you put in what class you're playing, and it will just give you all of the cards, and then you can print them off on, or you can just use PDF, however you like. Really nice. So I did that, bought loads of card, then went out and bought more card, because guess what? It turns out druids have a lot more spells than I thought they did, so I had to get more. Then went and bought like a massive lever arch folder and loads of little card wallets, and I printed off the entire druid spell list for all 9 levels for Pathfinder First Edition, and cut them all out. Coloured ink, went through so many coloured ink cartridges for this, put them all in these little slots so that he had his spell book and he could take each spell out when he had it and just put it down on the counter when he wanted to use it. Really nice thing. And then a little while later, they announced second edition, and we realised we were going to be switching to a completely new game.
Yeah, I was
Drum still got it.
20 episodes later, we're P2E.
He does.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he still has it at home.
Do you know what we should do? Is we should give it away to one of our English, although it might be quite weighty, one of our English Patreons, and get Drum to sign it. If you want an old redundant spell list for first edition.
Well, some people still might play first edition.
Yeah.
It might be quite valuable to them.
A lot of people still play. I mean, I think it's a weighty tome. This is the thing. It would be a bit like when we gave away that D&D book up for a Twitter shout out a little while ago, and it ended up nearly wiping us out because it cost so much to post.
They'd be like, can I have this recorded first? And they'd be like, yep, just put it on the scales. Okay, that's £20,000, please. Oh god.
Yeah, right. Oh, do you know what? I might just take it round there.
I'll just get an Uber up to Birmingham and give it to them.
Yeah, I might as well get the £15 train ticket. Do you know what I mean? You can get the cheap one. It's a longer train, but you can do some work on there. There's me just going off on one. I've got loads of editing to do, Dangerling, so I'm like, oh yeah, I could. I'm actually thinking this through now. I could sit on the train, I could edit, it'd be fine. Listen, we do a parody. Well, I think Scott does a parody of Oasis's Roll With It. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
What does he actually sing? I can't remember, but I know it's Roll With It.
He says, you gotta roll with it, you gotta learn your spells or something. Around, and then he says a joke about spells. And we all just kept quiet. All the time, every time Scott starts these songs, we all just go quiet to see where they go, and
it's really good, isn't it? Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
fun. I've got a little because Roll With It was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
You remember this? I mean, Ross, maybe you don't because maybe you're only a little nipper.
Yeah, maybe.
At the time, knee high to a grasshopper, wouldn't you? But me and Dan, us old boys, we remember this, right? Roll With It was huge, right? Now, basically, what happened, Dangerlings? It's a little deep dive on this. It was a thing between Oasis and Blur, two big bands in the Britpop era in the mid 90s, 1996, I believe. And Oasis moved the release date of their single "Roll With It" to the original release date of "Country House" by Blur to spark a chart war. So everyone, in those days, you'd go out and you'd buy the CD single from Our Price or Virgin Media Store. You'd go to W.H. Smith and you'd buy the CD single. And the idea was that there was going to be a battle of the bands, and whoever got to number one was going to be the winner. And it really kind of ramped up. It got dubbed the Battle of Britpop. Britpop, sorry. The British media had already reported an intense rivalry between these two bands, and this clash of releases was seen as a battle for the number one spot. The media sensation was spurred on by verbal attacks from the representative camps, in particular Nolan, Liam Gallagher, Damon Albarn and Alex James. And this extended beyond the music industry to the point where the two bands were regularly mentioned on the evening news. So, like, when the news came on at News at 10, whether, it's war or there's a famine in this country. Oh, by the way, Oasis and Blur are selling CDs. It was nuts. It was crazy, right? Now, in particular, the public imagination was sparked by the contrast between the working class Oasis, right? I'm doing air quotes here, and the middle class Blur, because really, there is a little bit of truth to that, but not really. In the end, Blur's single Country House sold 274,000 copies to Oasis's 216,000 copies of Roll With It, and Blur got to number one, winning that chart war. Arguably, Roll With It is a better song, but that's up to the public to decide.
I'm surprised that is the song that's the songs that was the war over, because I wouldn't say either of those are the best song by either of those bands.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You're right about that.
Who do you prefer, though? That's the key question. Blur or Oasis?
Well, I don't know. I think it's, for me, it depends where you are and what crowd you're in.
I feel, Colin, you're an Oasis man.
You'll be surprised.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah.
I
probably know more of Oasis's work, actually, but I think Blur, I don't know. I like both bands, actually, quite equally, but for different reasons. Yeah.
I was definitely Blur when it was the 90s. Yeah. But I don't know. I have seen Oasis live, and it is something special to be in a big crowd singing.
I just got tingles, Dan.
Yeah, they definitely, there is a presence to it. There's certainly a lot of arguments that Britpop is a little bit of a dip in the musical quality in Britain, and it's kind of like, oh, actually, all of the most interesting stuff was happening in clubs, actually, while we were listening to sort of 3-chord monotone nonsense songs. But there is some good stuff in there. I can't say I listen to it very much these days, but yeah, I like
there is some really good stuff. There's loads of Britpop bands, and some of it's great, some of it's crap. Like it's the same with everything. There are survivors of Britpop. Ash are still making music. Crazy. They did a lot of songs on Shaun of the Dead, which I watched again quite recently, which is nearly 20 years old. But you know what I mean? They were still making music then, and I believe they're still making music now.
I tell you what, though, if you're talking to someone and you're like, "Were you into Blur or Oasis?" and they go, "Oh, I liked Pulp actually," then that's the time. Right. They're right, but that's the time to walk away from that.
Goodbye.
It's quite interesting. This is the last time, though. I think that was the last time we had and it probably will be the last time as well, because of the way music is streamed and done like that. You won't get that again, really. You won't get that rivalry. You won't get that kind of chart battle or anything anymore because of the way that music is done. So I think that might have been the last time that happened. And very interesting. Anyway, we need to talk about this episode, but it's good. Yeah, we open a door. There's a skeleton, and Simon is in there. Simon, named after Simonstrous Art, which is brilliant. I love the fact that he's in a janitor uniform with his name on the side there.
My name is Simon.
And this is because Simon did a lot of art for us back in the day, and it's really, really good. We loved it. It's the first bit of fan art, wasn't it?
He was our first fan art. It's such good art, and we still use him now with a lot of work. We've done a big art commission from him, so a lot of the art you'll see on our episodes is stuff we've commissioned from Simon, because we like that early stuff so much. He's actually in this episode for more than just art, though. He's in this episode for sending me a rules correction.
Oh yeah, one of our first rules corrections.
Yeah, because he pointed out that zombies can make charge actions, because it had been just driving me nuts in some of these fights that these stupid zombies were just chasing you guys around and could never get near any of you. And he's look at this tiny little rule here that says they can charge people. And I'm like, I'm putting a charging zombie in this game and I'm naming him after you. And he's going for full.
Yeah, very cool. That's nice, man. And then we get the Fulton, Ross,
Yeah.
Harmston. We get the crit cards.
Yep. Yeah, we get.
Oh my God.
We get my ever rolling low numbers, and then I get my all or nothing crit fumble that I will have for. Well, we'll count as we go along the weeks and weeks of Danger Recall.
So let's remember, it's episode 42 that you get this card.
Yep.
And we'll see what episode it is.
And there was two chances. There was two chances to make it a confirmed fumble as well. I rolled really badly, and then I rolled again really badly. And I think that was the catalyst of when. I mean, actually, it's probably not because I always roll badly. But that was definitely the start of when it just all went downhill for Fulton for a long, long time. Which is sad.
I mean, it's classic Danger Club. It's brilliant. To listen to. It's so much fun. But yeah, at any moment you could just die from these rolls. It's so much fun though. And I say at this point, I'll see you, because we hear that you need to get a critical success to get rid of it, and I say we'll see you in 2021.
Yeah,
which is where we are now. Yeah, in a way, I was right. So thank you, past Colin, for being so brilliant. No, I'm joking. And then we have Velda cast this Disrupt Undead. This is a great little spell. I'd never seen it before. I think this is the first time it's been used. It's a great spell, isn't it?
It's one of those spells that's really, really powerful, but really situational. So it's kind of like, I mean, you could argue maybe he should have turned up with it at the start of this. As soon as you've met zombies for the first time, he should have had that in his back pocket all the time.
I mean, he was down in the pit with the zombies and he was running around. Like, why is he doing Disrupt Undead?
Now he brings it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really, really nice spell. So it's a great one to be able to bust out at this point. There's some great like Velda and Caragor tension over the next few episodes.
Yeah,
it gets really it gets really back and forth on it. And there's talk about the I think Velda brings up Caragor killing the guards.
Yeah.
You know, that guard where he's like, oh, let's put our weapons away, and then murders him ages ago, which of course he doesn't know. And then it reminded me that like no one in the group knows about Em and Jethro either. And it just kind of it just occurred to me, I was like, I wonder how many of the group have got these sort of weird dark secrets of these the sort of early the stuff they did in their early years to survive that they're just like, oh, I don't tell the rest of the team.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah. This could be a fireside chat later on. I mean, obviously, M could whisper it from Fulton's Axe. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't heard anything further than this. But anyway, yeah. I love this because it's the first time I use the old new longsword. I don't even know. I've picked this sword up from Moncolio and not used it yet, and realised that it's a masterwork sword. It's better than any other weapon that I've got. And then we talk about the gas leak monkeys. I love this, Dan, that you just improvised this. It was like, there's a gas leak and the Danger Club are imagining all these monkeys last week, because obviously we had needed to cover up the fact that we've been using spells we're not allowed to use. That was great. That was really good. Yeah, nice inspired bit there. And then we all have a chat about not kicking a door because we don't want to make any noise. And what happens?
Caragor just goes.
He's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, he's not even here. He kicks the door in, as usual.
Oh, he kicks in the blooming door and makes the noise that echoes all the way through the blooming ossuary. Oh, dear. Again, though, classic Danger Club. Like, it is so fun to listen to. That's just brilliant.
All of this is starting to build up to what we'll talk about in the next episode of Danger Recall, when you meet Svalanus Devere, and your plan to try and trick him. And it's like that starts to fall apart the moment he hears someone kicking his door in down the end of the corridor. Like, it's always suspicious from there. But then you before, just right near the end of the episode, you have your incredible takedown of Mr. Marrow, the investigating zombie.
Yeah, it's so great.
I
loved it.
I always love those moments. I like an episode where there is abject failure at some point and a bunch of fumbles, and then you do something really cool in the other part of it to kind of balance it out.
Yeah,
because it kind of gives it a nice.
Seems to happen to us quite a lot, doesn't it? We have all these stupid moments and things that we do wrong, and then we do something that's really awesome, and it's like, oh fucking hell, that was great. Yeah.
It ended up being. I was really worried about the door bit because we'd gotten so much stick from the riddle bit when you guys spent an entire episode not going through a door, and so I was just really just go through the door, please.
Yes, please go through the door. I love this, like all hiding in the dark, and then we take out that zombie, and then Shania thinking she's creeping through to go and speak to the drow, and we can all see her like fumbling through the dark. And she's like, I am the night. And then the last thing I love about this episode, and it purely a mistake, not a mistake, but like a chance. I was looking for a chemical sound effect to put behind this, and I just stumbled upon a video of someone had just put like an ASMR of bubbles on YouTube, but it was about an hour long or something. So it's like blah, 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 blah. And I thought, oh yeah, that's brilliant. And I remember sending it to you, Dan, before we, to do the set. Because what we do is I edit the episode and then I send it to one of the club members, usually Dan, and he'll listen to it just to make sure that I haven't made any mistakes, which I often do. But, it's just to like get a second pair of ears on it just to make sure that we haven't messed up or, left something in that, like a cut or something or whatever. So and Dan, you just messaged back straight away just going, I love the chemical sounds. The laboratory sounds are so good. Yeah.
And they sounded really, really nice. I like those ones when you're looking for a sound effect and you're like, oh, this is perfect, and you go to like a YouTube downloader or something and you download the sound effect to grab it, and then you look at it and you're like, that video is 2 hours long. That's like a sleep track. I'll just go and have a coffee while that
45 minutes to download. Oh, God.
For this like 20-second bit.
Exactly. I need like a 4-hour video. I've done it so much as well. My hard drive is so clogged up with these like 5 or 6 hour long things. I should chop them all down to 3 minutes and then just get rid of them, really. But Anyway, that is episode 42, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like 42, we're the answer. This has been the best podcast that you've ever heard, apart from the episode itself. Yeah.
And the other content that we also do as well.
And the other content that we use. This is like number 5, the best, the 5th best podcast in our network. Oh shit, now that's making it really bad, isn't it? I'm kind of stealing this from Talib Kweli. So Talib, if you're listening, Talib Kweli, if you don't know, is a rapper, and he starts his podcast, which is called The People's Party. It's really, really good. He starts it off with, thanks for checking us out. We're the best podcast on the internet. Thanks, subscribe, leave a review, something like that is in his intro every week. So I'm stealing it from Talib.
So thanks,
I think
Talib.
We're the best
I know
podcast.
you're an avid listener of the Danger Club.
Yeah. Hey, he might be.
He might be. Yeah, that's true. Now that we've shouted him out, we can tag him in our Twitter or something,
Yeah. I mean, he's been banned from Twitter because he keeps going at racists. He all these people like kept tweeting him going, I'm not racist, blah blah blah, and saying something really racist, right?
But
you know how racists do that, and he just like always gets into these mad conversations with them, going, no, you're a fucking racist, and points it out to them. And I think because he caused so much like drama on Twitter, they banned him for being for being anti-racist. So it's weird.
We'll drop him an email and we'll say, hey, we talked about you on our podcast and your battles against racism. Would you like to listen to it? It costs $5.
Yeah. And can we come on People's Party? We want to talk to you about stuff. That'd be great. We'll get a global audience. We have got a global audience. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Dangerlings, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to my guest, Dan Thompson.
Cheers, everyone. See you next week.
And thanks, Ross Harmston.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Dangerlings. Bye. Lives in a house, a very big house in the country.